Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Former PepsiCo CEO and Indian origin business leader Indra Nooyi has sparked a fierce debate after remarks in which she credited the United States meritocratic system for her rise to the top, saying she could never have become CEO in any other country, including India. Let's take a look at what she said.
In any other country in the world. I would never have been CEO in any other country of the world, including in India. So I look at them and I say, look at what I could achieve here. It's because the system is a meritocratic system. Mentors don't care whether you're male, female, ethnicity, gender, they don't care. They just want the best brains to rise to the top. So you guys should be happy that you're in this country, and you've got to do everything possible to maintain the spirit of this country.
Well, her comments became even more controversial when she contrasted India with China, describing India as difficult for those who prefer clean, orderly living and saying that the country's beauty lies in its chaos. While Nooyi maintained that India's democratic nature is ultimately a strength, her remarks triggered sharp reactions online. Listen it.
I think the interesting thing about China is that it's relatively homogenous. Okay, there might be different versions of Chinese, but it's a relatively homogenous country. Yes. As a visitor, going there and spending some time, it's easier to do that in China than it is in India. Mm-hmm. India is a chaotic country. The beauty of India lies in its chaos, absolute chaos. And if you are familiar with India, you've traveled in India before, and you like that chaos all around you, you go back. It's like a drug. You get addicted to it. But if you like order, if you like, clean living, India is going to be impossible to take. When you see cows on the road along with the cars, you go, what the hell is going on here? Hey, we know how to dodge the cows and keep going, okay? That's life in India. Yes. I think Indians have hey, this too shall pass, maybe India will develop some more, but all of these cows on the road are part of life. We just take it for granted. We're very spoiled in the United States.
All right. Let's talk about what Indra Nooyi said with some guests. Moona Sahni, former CFO of Rajasthan Royals, is joining us at this point in time. Moona, I hope you can hear me.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, first of all, it's offensive what Indra Nooyi is saying, that she would not have become CEO. Being a woman in India, perhaps she forgot that India has had perhaps one of the only few countries that have had a female prime minister in Indira Gandhi, who not only made examples through her policies, but also was worldwide famous for the kind of strength and the kind of decision making that she bestowed upon India's democracy. You, as somebody who has risen through the ranks through your hard work and caliber, what do you make of what Indra Nooyi has said? Is that offensive at any level to you?
First of all, good evening, and it's a great discussion, I think. Having said that, what Indra Nooyi said, we have to understand the context. The context is, and as human beings, we make our assumptions based on lived experiences. So Indra Nooyi has lived a life in those specific years until 2019, and that has been largely in US, and she's lived that life, and she's just actually sharing what she lived. Whether it is offensive or not, I would see it in the holistic context. It's just her sharing her lived experience. But having said that, Indra Nooyi being a leader, and when it comes from a leader in that manner and form, controversies are bound to rise. However, I think you cannot compare an apple and a mango, or two different continents. These are different continents in different growth phases. So she was in US when US was in a very different stage compared to where India was at that point in that time. Today, India has changed. There are many, many, many women leaders. They are not just joining the boards, but they are creating the boards and creating organizations. And the world has changed. Now, whether there are cows on the road or whether all of that, these women have learned to navigate it all and still be on the top of the organization. So I honestly of the opinion that One, it is not a generalization, it is a lived experience being shared. Having said that, to consider that and make it a generalization that, life in US is any better than life in India, I wouldn't stand for that.
But Mona also, I'm sure she got to this place, she got to this kind of a pinnacle in the corporate world, not because of the values that she picked up in the United States. There has to be a lot of that work which was done by her parents and her peers that helped her get to the top. So there is an Indianness behind this success as well, which she hasn't credited.
100%. There's so much that India has given her because Indra Nooyi, being Indra Nooyi, she's always come out as an Indian. And the fact that she's got her claim and honor is because as an Indian, she's risen to the top of the organization. If she was any American woman rising to the top, would she be in news? So because she's an Indian and she did in another country whatever she did, which is why she's called out as a real and a true leader too. And it is difficult. She would have gone through her own set of challenges as well. What she spoke about was only one part of her career, where she spoke about that how she rose from, she joined as CFO and then eventually she became the chairman at PepsiCo. But what we have to see is also all the challenges she would have faced, and there are many other interviews where she's also spoken about challenges. What has happened in this specific situation is one interview, one context is being picked up and talked about, and a lot of other things that she went through has been ignored. And our Indianness, our values have a massive role to play no matter you are a man or a woman. Today, if Kunal Shah moves to Meta, it's a massive honor. And Kunal
Correct.
Shah tomorrow, says that if it has come from any other situation, then this, I mean, if it was not, he could have only been in Meta and done what he has done, and it wouldn't have been that way in any other manner. Um, would be very, very difficult statement to take because everything he's built in India. So whether it is, we have so many examples, man or women, and I think when it comes to business, we are and we have to be, and India is already becoming gender agnostic, and we have to respect that. Yes, if you have certain specific requirements, being a man or a woman for any person is not a choice. You biologically born as a man or a woman, and now that again is again another thing. You may be born as a man and you might be want to share, have a different gender appeal, which is fine. Everything is accepted today. And India has changed. So, in today's generation, obviously, and time, when something that happened 2 decades ago is being qualified and called out in an interview, these kind of questions are bound to be asked. And I think we should be captive about the audience because whether you're talking to somebody in US, that will get relayed in India. I'm talking to someone in India that will get relayed in US. So when we speak, sometimes it does happen that we might be talking on Indra Nooyi ji being the leader she is, and she's a fabulous leader, great orator. I have massive respect for her. She's an icon and a leader that we all admire. Context is critical, and then also being a little careful about how we put that context in today's world because every word is getting recorded and every word will get relayed multiple times. We don't live in non-digital world where you said something and it is forgotten. The digital footprint will go for years together to follow.
Mona, I appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. Thank you so much for your perspective.
Pleasure.
Let me also bring in Smriti Bhatt Deora, COO and co-founder of the AdvantageClub.ai. Appreciate you joining us, Smriti. First of all, your reaction to this statement which was made by Indra Nooyi that if she was in India, she would have never become the CEO of a company like PepsiCo.
Well, great. Thank you first and foremost for having me. Just to add to Muna's point, and I completely resonate with what she said. I think it is probably just it's one statement which is being taken in context and then ideally as a leader, obviously you have to be careful about what you say in a public forum. And if you are a leader like Indra Nooyi, it becomes even more important. But personally, I have been following Indra Nooyi since a while now. I have been one of her ardent followers. And what I have seen with her in general is she's very authentic and she talks from her personal experiences, and most of what she says is her personal experience, and usually it resonates with working women, career oriented women, and it has always usually resonated with me. But I think this statement, it comes from her experiences of India at that time, 20 years ago. Like, she became the CEO of PepsiCo in 2006. The India 20 years ago was a very different India than the India which is there today. Uh, but for this statement, I don't believe that statement accurately describes today's India. Personally, I have worked both in US and in India. And honestly, if you look at the US journey, they have also undergone the same journey as India before becoming what they have as an equitable employer. If you look at US's history, typically from 1960 to 1980, they underwent a whole revolution where they added equal pay acts, equal opportunity acts, equal civil rights acts and stuff like that, which enabled people to, or disabled people rather, to discriminate against employees on the basis of gender, on the basis of color or race, or where you're from or where you were born. This entire thing has come in our country 20 years later. Because if you look at India as a landscape, our IT services boom started happening from mid 2000s. Startup
But
ecosystem
Smriti, do you
started
think
coming in.
oftentimes a lot of
Yeah.
these CEOs who hail from India, and do well in the United States are, more or less reluctant to credit India for their rise?
I think, again,
Maybe
maybe
except
20 years
Sundar
ago.
Pichai. Even if you talk to Nadella or some of the other
Yeah.
blokes who have risen to the top, they
Yeah.
are they are reluctant to talk about their Indianness.
Correct. I think it comes from the fact because so they became CEO today, right? Becoming a CEO is a 20 to 30-year journey. It's not like you can become a CEO of a large organization in 5 years, 10 years. What they got as a support probably 30 years ago from India had nothing to do with how they went to that country or how they reached in that particular domain. I am sure 20 years later, somebody like Kunal Shah will still credit India for where they have reached, because India has played a large role in him becoming the Meta CEO, right? So, uh, for somebody like, say, Satya Nadella, I don't think it really played a role in his life that much, which is probably why they're reluctant. But I don't think personally we should fixate on who's saying what or what we are doing now. I think we should be more focused on, are we growing as a country? Are we really reaching there in the next 2 decades? How, say, a developed country has grown over time and really became equitable for everybody. And I think probably the entrepreneurs, the people who are being made today will have a very different opinion 20 years later than the people who went to the US. They used to call this the American dream. They did that and then now they've finally gotten there. I think the journey is going to be different for different people. Like, I see entrepreneurs of my age, we really we credit India a lot. I mean, we personally love the support we have gotten from this country, and I don't think we would have gotten here if it was not for India. And now we do global businesses, and 20 years later, I will still credit that to India. But yeah, maybe if I started my career 30 years ago and I had to do that whole thing of going to the US, getting a loan, paying it off, getting everything done there, then India might not have played a lot of role in my journey.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate you being here with us. And it's obviously heartening to see that the apprehensions that have been voiced by Indra Nooyi is something that you do not subscribe to, because you're an example of the opposite. Thank you so much.